Dog Works Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com. From two beautifully scenic and historic locations, the Hudson Valley, New York, and Willow, Alaska, this is the Sibe Vibe, brought to you by Dog Works Radio. Your hosts are author, journalist, and photographer, the Five Sibes mom, Dorothy Wills-Raftery, and Dog Works Radio executive producer, canine behaviorist, trainer, and lead musher of Team Maneke, Robert Forto. The Sibe Vibe is all about the magnificent breed of the Siberian Husky. From training to grooming, and for those who show and breed, from parenting to playing and rescuing Huskies in need, whether mushing over snow-covered trails or lounging on tropical shores, even for Hollywood Sibes on the big silver screen, and so very much more. If it's about a Siberian Husky, we'll chat about it here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sibe Vibe on Dog Works Radio. I am your host, Dorothy Wills-Raftery, also known as the Five Sibes Mom. Today's episode continues with the new special feature to my podcast episodes launched last month of sharing some of the touching stories about amazing dogs living with seizures and canine epilepsy from my book, Epic Dog Tales, Heartfelt Stories About Amazing Dogs Living and Loving Life with Canine Epilepsy. These stories are told by their loving families and caregivers, and in sharing their stories, you will hear firsthand the trials and tribulations of their personal journeys with canine epilepsy across the breeds from across the world. But truly, the main message is about how these amazing dogs do not let epilepsy stop them from enjoying life, the same as a dog who lives life without epilepsy. Today, we will be highlighting the stories of Blue, a husky mix from the United Kingdom, Chloe, a beagle from New York, USA, and Nuka, a Siberian Husky from Pennsylvania, USA. I hope you enjoy the stories of these amazing dogs. Blue. Blue, a Husky mix, was our first foster pup. His plight came to our attention on February 10, 2013, through an urgent appeal from the pound. Blue's owners, the nurse explained, had tied him up outside the vet and left him there. He is 4 years old and has drug-controlled epilepsy, the message continued. If we cannot find him a foster home, he is due to be put to sleep tomorrow. We are desperately searching for a foster home just to get him safe. As soon as I saw Blue, I just knew I had to help him. I talked with the kind people at St. Sled Dog Rescue for assistance. Blue had not been assessed, so we did not know what he was like with other dogs or children, or even what his temperament was like. We did know that he had canine epilepsy, which was controlled by medication, and that if a foster family could not be found, he was going to be put to sleep. The next day I headed to the kennels in Swindon to bring Blue home. He barked and howled during the entire 3-hour car ride, and he was so pleased when we finally got home. He met our Nikita, who was only 4.5 months old at the time, and Jake, our 15-year-old border collie. Blue kept his distance from the other dogs, and he didn't know how to play. He seemed frightened to be in the house. Blue would go out into the garden and run away from you if you tried to bring him in. Then when he was in, he would pace the living room and howl to go back out. All we could do was sit next to him and stroke him until he settled down. He watched Nikita coming in and out, and with a few bribes of a treat, he started coming in on his own. Over the next few weeks, Blue started to learn how to play with Nikita and toys. He learned that he was allowed to have cuddles on the sofa like the rest of the pups, and all was good. People were interested in adopting Blue, but for one reason or another the adoptions fell through, until the arrival of Chloe and Lewis Kelly. They had fallen in love with Blue and wanted to adopt him, even with epilepsy and extra cost of medication that he needed. The first fits hit during Easter weekend 2013. Saturday evening, Blue started to act differently. He was barking all the time and pacing inside the house. He was in and out of the garden and not really paying any attention to anything. At about 3 a.m., my husband Rob jumped up and said, "Fit, fit, fit, Blue is fitting. Move, Nikita." Then we just counted how long it lasted. For the rest of the night, Blue seemed upset and confused. At about 6 a.m., he fell asleep. He then spent Sunday and Monday fitting every 3 to 4 hours, and the fits were very heavy, scary, and upsetting. We took Blue over to our vet on Monday for an intravenous injection of diazepam, as his fits were coming too fast for him to fully recover. He couldn't even stand up. The Monday following Easter, he had 2 more fits in the evening. but then seemed to stabilize. However, on Tuesday evening he had 3 fits in 45 minutes, all lasting over 65 seconds. He started microfitting every few minutes, and I wasn't even at home. I was taking another dog, Zeus, to his foster home. I called Susie Carpenter, my rescue area coordinator, and Heather Sayville, founder of St. Sled Dog Rescue, to give us permission to have Blue admitted overnight to Orwell Veterinary Surgery, where they put him on a drip and gave him intravenous diazepam to help get his seizures under control. He was on his 15th fit since 3 a.m. Sunday. Rob gave Blue a big hug and kiss, but he didn't expect Blue to be leaving the hospital. He was waiting for the call that said, "You need to come and give Blue that last hug." Thankfully, Blue fought through it, and on Wednesday we brought him home again. However, he was weak, jumpy, scared, and confused. He was on 150 milligrams of phenobarbital now, twice a day, and 1,000 milligrams of libromide once a day. Our vets at Vet for Pets, Ipswich, had been working with us and knew we so wanted to reduce Blue's medications. They found a trial with the Royal Veterinary College in London called Canine Idiopathic Epilepsy, the influence of a diet on improving seizure control. But Blue needed an MRI to be able to start on the trial. The MRI was too expensive for us as a family, and since he is a rescue dog with a known condition, he cannot be insured for his canine epilepsy. After a friend suggested launching an appeal on Facebook to raise the money, I started a Facebook page called Blue's Tale. I've had people donating money from all over the world to help this rescue boy. In less than a week, we almost made the full amount for the MRI. With money being so tight all over the world, many people still found it in their hearts to donate money for this beautiful pup whom they didn't even know. It's just an amazing outcome. Blue finished with the Royal Veterinary College trial in November 2013. We had hoped that, through dietary measures, we would eventually be able to reduce Blue's medication or take him off medication altogether. Unfortunately, we now know that Blue will never be drug-free, and his epilepsy is too severe. However, as a result of the trial, Blue went from having 3 to 15 fits over 1 to 3 days every 2 months to having 3 partial fits and 1 major fit in the last 8 months. We couldn't be more pleased. And after that Easter weekend, we couldn't part with Blue, so he officially became a permanent member of our family. I want to thank everyone from across the world who has donated and shared Blue's story. I also want to thank the Royal Veterinary College for everything they have done to help Blue. In hard times, people are still so wonderful. Victoria McGuckin, Kesgrave, Ipswich, Suffolk, United Kingdom. Chloe. Chloe is my daughter Jordan's best friend, a special girl who is lovable, gentle, sweet, and a girly girl. Chloe, who was born in Lake Placid, New York, is a 7-year-old beagle who is the best companion to have, and she lives with focal seizures. Chloe came into our lives at a very difficult time. My daughter had just had major surgery. She had been chronically ill since birth, and at this point she was 8 years old. After this particular surgery, she couldn't go back to school for a long time. Being the animal lover she is, she kept asking us for her own dog, as we already had a family dog, a Siberian Husky named Shelby. That is when Chloe came into the picture. Jordan wanted a beagle, so we started looking and found the perfect one. Her dad and I decided to surprise her, and as soon as Jordan saw her, it was love at first sight. They were inseparable right from the beginning, and still are to this day. Shelby was so happy to have a sister to play with, and they became fast and loyal friends. Chloe has so much personality in that little body of hers. She is so lovable, funny, makes us laugh every day. Before she was a year old, she started having focal seizures. Her little body would shake so much. At first we mistook them for her being afraid of things, as she is very shy. We then saw a pattern with her symptoms. We had another beagle before who had grand mal seizures, and we knew what we were facing. Sometimes before the seizure starts, Chloe will come to one of us and want to be held. Other times we will find her shaking uncontrollably. While canine epilepsy is hard to see, we hold her and give her lots of love to help her through. Phenobarbital is the only medication we have tried. I know from the past that there are lots of other medications that may work better in other dogs, but this one is working for her. At first it made her lethargic, but that eventually wore off and didn't change her personality. We thought because they were infrequent, we would see if she could go without the need for medications. It became quite obvious, especially with the stress as a result of change that she was experiencing, that she needed help. Chloe takes phenobarbital, and it has helped tremendously. My daughter Jordan adds, "It is very hard to see Chloe having so many seizures. I love her so much and don't want her to hurt. I always hold her and comfort her. I know that she's on medication for them, and I hope her personality wouldn't change." Well, thankfully, the change was minor, being lethargic, and it was only temporary when she first started on the medication. Recently, Chloe lost her best friend, our Siberian Husky Shelby. Losing Shelby was so sudden and very difficult for all of us, and we worry about Chloe and her seizures from the stress of that loss. She's been having such a hard time with grieving that is a trigger, and her seizures have come back. When we leave her to go out, we come back to her shaking, drooling, and crying. The loss of Shelby has devastated us all. My daughter Jordan hopes to use our experiences with Chloe one day to help others. She says, "I want to be a veterinarian when I get older, and I especially hope to help with canine epilepsy so others don't see their dogs experiencing seizures the way I do with Chloe." It truly warms my heart to see Jordan with Chloe. The bond they share is so special. Even with canine epilepsy, Chloe is living a great life. She loves to swim, play, and go for long walks. We couldn't have asked for a better dog for Jordan. We are so very thankful for her unconditional love. Her seizures are controllable and do not take away from the fun and love we have for her. Susan and Jordan Kerr, New York, USA. You can follow my 5 Sibes as well as my Live Gibbstrong Canine Epilepsy Awareness Campaign simply by checking out our websites at 5sibes.com, and you can come follow us and feel free to message me on Facebook at 5Sibes Siberian Husky Canine News and Reviews and on Twitter at 5SibesMom. And our last story for today is about Juno Dante Ramirez, Beauty and the Beast. Since I can remember, I've always been fascinated by sled dogs. Northern breeds, such as the Siberian Husky, have captivating eyes, and their presence alone demands the attention of everyone who comes into contact with them. One day in December of 2007, I had gone Christmas shopping, and, as we all know, after a long day, all you want to do is go home and lie down. To my surprise, as I opened the door, my grandmother came out with a puppy in her arms, and he came running toward me. It was amazing how that puppy knew I was his new mommy who would love him forever. Tears poured down my cheeks, and the cutest 10-week-old black and white, blue-eyed, chubby furball showered me with kisses. Forget being tired from a day of shopping. I went out for a walk with my new son. I bought books and DVDs and asked around to get a trainer, anything to help me raise an obedient dog. I also thought long and hard what to name him. I wanted something unique that meant something special. Juno seemed appropriate, as that was the name of an asteroid discovered in the 1800s. Like an unexpected asteroid that can come crashing down to Earth, Juno, my dog, came suddenly into my life and changed it forever in a good way. Not to mention Juno being the capital of Alaska, and he is a snow dog. Juno was a happy, energetic, lovable puppy, and so mischievous. I learned how to stimulate his mind and keep him occupied, as he is a working dog. He loves going down the slide with me in the park and making snow angels in the winter. Then the scariest thing happened. On May 28, 2010, when Juno was 2 years and 7 months old, I was out with my mother when my grandmother called me, panicking because Juno was convulsing and foaming from the mouth. My heart dropped, and all I thought about was how to get home as fast as I could to see if my baby was okay. I took Juno to the vet, and the next day got a SuperChem CBC thyroid and fecal test done. His results came back normal. Then on July 6, when Juno needed a bath, the vet used 0.5 milliliters of acepromazine to sedate him, as he was very fussy. Had I known then what I know now, I would never have risked my dog's health by agreeing to use it. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, Juno seized again. In January of 2011, he began seizing every month until finally in March, I took him to the neurologist. What was weird was his vital signs were perfect. He was alert, no signs of anything wrong. His family history had no epilepsy, but he was diagnosed with idiopathic epilepsy. Epilepsy is a silent monster that can creep up every now and then. I cry every time he seizes because he looks at me with scared eyes, and I can feel his fear. All I can do is speak to him when it happens, keep objects away from him so he won't injure himself, and administer rectal Valium to help break the clusters. He's never lost hope and counts on me, so I won't lose hope. My faith in him has never been stronger. Juno is now on 3 medications: potassium bromide, phenobarbital, and generic Keppra. He is also on milk thistle to protect his liver. He's been seizure-free for a few months now. He's very good and lives a full life. Juno enjoys watching movies with me, munching on non-salted popcorn, and absolutely loves blueberries, pineapples, and squash. He likes playing tag and getting the squeaker as squeaky toys. He loves Etta James and gazes into my eyes when I sing "At Last" to him while giving me kisses. I sometimes feel as if he were a person because he understands so much. I was supposed to have the role of teaching him, but he is the one who has taught me so much. I could have a bad day and come home to my dog, and he's always happy to see me waiting by the door. Juno has taught me to wake up each day and enjoy life's wonders, despite tragedies, sickness, mishaps, or whatever life throws at you. After he seizes, he acts as if nothing has happened. It makes me feel that I can brush anything off and continue to live just like he does. Juno is a strong dog, intelligent, resilient, and tough, loyal, a bit loony, and very family-oriented. He's my warrior, and he sees life as a huge playground. I do live each day with the possibility that the monster might come back at any moment. That's the fear all epi dog owners have, but I strive to make him as happy as he makes me. It's better to make the days count and not count the days. Most people consider epileptic dogs to be, quote, not healthy, unquote, but I beg to differ. Juno's blood level is within range. He has good eyesight, hearing, beautiful teeth, clean ears, good appetite, beautiful coat, and has so much love to spread. To me, despite canine epilepsy, I would not trade Juno for anything in the world. He is perfect in all his imperfections. Sasha Ramirez, New York, USA. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this very special episode of the Sibe Vibe here on Dogworks Radio. Until next time, have a great day.